Hey everybody, this is VV Lane, and there's been a little bit of difficulty scheduling our next big webcast. It's cold season, Hans isn't feeling great. I admit I'm going to be sniffing a little bit myself throughout this, so I apologize for that. But while we're in the holding pattern of trying to schedule the next official webcast, I decided that I would do my own personal Reminisces 2015 year in review. I also kind of intended to have a huge, brilliant photo presentation ready for this, but that wasn't compatible with doing the webcast or the vlog today. That would have taken me way longer, and it would have been 2017 by the time I was ready. So I'll hopefully have some little pictures along the way, but not the museum piece that I had in mind. Okay, anyway, I'm going to get started. And as always, if you happen to be watching, feel free to comment in, and I'll try to keep an eye on that while I'm rambling on as well. Okay, so 2015, it was really a very busy year. I think all my years are very busy years, but I have proof that 2015 was hugely busy, as I was just going back and reminding myself everything I was going to talk about. So let's start with let's start with January last year. And I'm going to show that I had made some resolutions actually at the beginning of last year. And I have proof. I'm going to show you my blog here in just a second from that moment. Let's see. View. And the resolutions that I made were to keep a better blog. That's one thing. Here it is. Share. So here it is. Here's my my 2015 resolutions. I was going to update my blog once every week. I have to confess that one started out really well for about a month, but I have discovered I'm not a consistent blogger, no matter what. I also had resolved to do some hypertrophy lifting and dieting at the beginning of 2015. I feel like I make that resolution every year because I'm making that resolution again for 2016 right now. That I always want to, through the winter, do a little bit of bulking up. And then you can see here were my starting position pictures for my 2015 hypertrophy program. I admit, like kind of all resolutions, this one also went really well for about a month. And then I got really busy, like I do. But here are all of my pretty cute little hypertrophy starting point program plans. And then here we go. Here's another, my third 2015 resolution. And this was to do some videos that followed more storylines and had costumes and characters and like a bigger storytelling element than some of the previous wrestling videos. And that resolution I'm going to talk about a little later throughout this did go really well ultimately in the end. And I also want to show that Diablo is also keeping a blog that talked about resolutions for our bondage wrestling that year. And let me see if I can go and show that too. Hang on.
I'll pull it up.
Let's see. But anyway, so as I wait and see if I can find the screen to show, some of the bondage wrestling resolutions were for more, again, costume and storyline characters, matches. Some were for more multi-person matches, which was a thing that we started doing in 2014 and was so cool. We wanted to do more of them. And then let's show this just right away because this is cute. Possibly our first match that we even did in 2015 was one of the resolutions was, let's see, is this it? I think we're trying to show, no, go back. One of the resolutions was for Crazy AZ and Hans to have a bondage wrestling match, one of the bondage wrestling resolutions. So you can see what I'm showing right now is our 2015 video catalog. And so number one, the very first match of the year was Crazy AZ versus Hans. We did a great job on that resolution. We got it done right away. Okay, so I'm going back here. Oh, and then here is the blog. Let's see. I think. Oh, here's the bondage wrestling action blog. You can see that the number one goal resolution was Crazy AZ versus Hans, and some of the other resolutions throughout that blog were multi-person matches and costume matches. Okay, so, moving on. This is one other thing I have to mention, because this is the big start to my year. Let me go back. Sorry, this was going to be a little more organized at one point. So 2015 started with me getting promoted at my BJJ school. I got promoted to brown belt, which was a huge deal that I wasn't even expecting at all. So I just want to show this. Oh, wait, hang on. Yes. Let's screen share that. Oh, how did it do that? Wait, let's see. The screen sharing thing is killing me. It's just crazy. Okay, so let me try that one more time, and if that doesn't work, we're gonna scrap it. Let's see. Here it is. Okay, this is my little memory lane. This is my promotion in January last year, 1 year ago now, when I got my brown belt. I still feel like I'm growing into it because I was very surprised when this happened, and it was pretty exciting, and it's a scary thing because you can feel really safe at one level, and then my professor came along and said, "Oh no, you're ready for the next level," and wow, that was definitely a really big honor, and a really cool start to the year. Okay, now I'm just gonna launch right into my all my stories. So here is the other thing. I'm gonna use our videos here as just a memory jogger, because so many of my stories are about the people I met, or the trips I did, the shoots that we did with them, and everything that went around into doing really cool videos and meeting really cool people last year, all through 2015. So this is something that happened, and it happened, I remember, 2 years in a row. I always thought January, we'd have terrible weather, we would not be able to organize very many things, and we'd be like, oh God, it's so slow, but it's the middle of winter. And what happened last year, and even 2014, I think, is that we would then go nuts in February. I don't know, people visit New York in February, amazing wrestlers and models. And so we had really busy times in February. And I just want to show some really cool things happened in February too. Like that resolution that we made for more multi-way bondage wrestling matches. We planned it originally. We were going to do a male versus female teams bondage wrestling. It was going to be couples bondage wrestling. We were going to have it on Valentine's Day. But there was weather, there was snow, there was a hard time. So it turned out that on Valentine's Day, I just had a match wearing my cute little red Valentine's bikini, bondage wrestling Howell, and giving Howell a terrible time. But we rescheduled very, very soon and made that multi-way bondage wrestling happen. And this was our first battle of the sexes. This was a goal that we met, which was really cool. And it was with me and Carrie as a team against Danger Dude and Frankie. February was also the month of super hard matches. I think Carrie and I expected that we were going to just walk all over these guys because Frankie is not a very strong wrestler and Danger Dude is not an experienced bondage person, though he's a terrific wrestler, really good. So Carrie and I thought we were going to have the advantage. This match went almost an hour long. Everybody was like giving everything, so exhausted by the end of it. And we were thinking, oh God, this was supposed to be easy. But finally, at the end of it, Carrie and I pulled it out. More trouble than we thought it was worth at the time. But looking back, we're like, that was awesome. And it's probably even better that it was a hard fight than an easy fight. And then the other thing in February that was like an enormous deal was the longest match I've ever had. This match, again, I was like, oh, whatever. I'm very good at bondage wrestling. And this opponent was a good wrestler, decent wrestler anyway, and big and strong, but not good at bondage at all. So I thought, oh, hey, it'll be tough, but it'll be an okay match. But partway in, I sprained my thumb, so I wasn't able to tie as well. And this match went for 2 hours. It's one of, if not the only one of the very few that we've actually had to break into 2 parts. Because it was so long, neither one of us wanted to give up at all. So part 1 and part 2. This was like a once in a lifetime thing. I actually never want another match to go full out, no water breaks, so many close finishes, but then so many times that it slipped away, so that was even more frustrating. I never want another match to go like that. So this was memorable. And this was getting towards the end of the February month, so like we'd been filming a lot, and I was like, oh my god, the year's only just starting, and I'm gonna freak out. Other things that happened that month, which were so cool, was meeting Robin. It was the first time I'd met Robin before and gotten to film with her for her company, but never gotten to film with her for my company. So this was super cool that Robin visited New York and I was able to work with her for Doom Maidens. She's so fun. Such excellent energy that's like not just tons of, energy or aggression, but fun. Like she was having a great time. I was having a great time. You can see that she's even trying to like kick me with her little feet tied to her thighs there. So good and so cool. And like I said, one of the things that I really remember, I like to look back on throughout the year is people that I've met, often for the first time, and moving on into March, we're getting through the year a little bit. Rapture was somebody that I'd never gotten to meet before, but heard her name and knew she was quite amazing. So it was really cool that for the first time ever, I got to meet Rapture. We only got to have a very tiny short shoot during her very busy trip. But I got to, you can see here, I got to see what an amazing physique she has. She's just more than human. You can see how incredible she is. And what's so exciting, what I also kind of want to talk about is people I met that I'm going to get to meet again really soon. So Rapture's coming back in this month, in a couple weeks, actually. What I was saying about January's before being slow months looks like it's not going to happen this year because Rapture will be back in just a couple weeks. So I'll get a second chance to shoot with her, which will be really neat. So let's just let's just say hi again. Here's my face again. So then after February, I got started with some of my traveling for the year. I went to Chicago, and that was the first time I got to visit or meet Ashley Wildcat. So that was pretty neat, because that's another lady who, Ashley will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's been kind of starting up and really getting bigger and more known and doing more things this year. But when I first met her in Chicago in March, I hadn't heard of her before. And so it was nice to meet her. And then throughout this year, I've gotten to film with her 2 more times because she's visited New York. She's been really busy and active, and I see and hear about her more and more. And I got to say in March, I got to meet her before I'd heard any of the great stuff that I started hearing about her later. And much like Rapture, I am going to get to see Ashley again really soon, because I'm going down to Tampa to film with her and with some other ladies there for her company, again, Walk on the Wild Side. And it's exciting that I'm staying in touch with so many people that I met in 2015. That's really cool. So let me actually... when I first met Ashley, I was filming in Chicago for her company, but I'm going to show this again. This is the first time then, a little bit later, that she came to New York and got to film for Doom Maidens. And like I was saying, one of our goals to do more costume things and more multi-way bondage really came to fruition. We hit that goal so hard at the beginning of the year. And we did superheroine bondage wrestling. And Ashley made an excellent superheroine. Definitely. And we got our first all-female 4-way bondage wrestling of the year. And then we quite soon thereafter did, Ashley and I did another superheroine pantyhose catball fight. So that was very fun. Again, she made an excellent superheroine. Let's see. And then, okay, so I have to talk about this match / video / concept. This was maybe one of the gigantic highlights of my year. We said we wanted to do more storyline things, more characters and costumes. And so this was an original concept. And I think Diablo first said to me that he had this idea, and then we developed it together, making the Spider Queen like a bondage femme fatale, super villainous. And this video was hard to make, actually. We planned it. We put a lot of thought into it. We even did a whole trial run of it, doing lots of different positions, different bondage scenarios with the wrestling, with like, we tied Howell to a chain link fence and did different tableaus and things. We did this whole trial run, watched it, said, no, we don't actually like it. It was a little bit too slow. We want more wrestling, more action in it. As we did it, we shot the whole thing a second time. And I'll mention, like, we did this, I shouldn't say this, but I will, because it's behind the scenes color story. The first time that we did this, we tied Howell up in this cocoon, and he ended up falling over. So the second time we did it, it was perfect. It was brilliant. It was beautiful. It's like a masterpiece. And people have asked since then, will you do another one? And it's just like, you know, some of the movies that, you know, the sequel isn't as good. This one I'm so proud of. I like don't even want to touch it. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know if a sequel can do it justice. I don't want it to be one of those things. So this, The Hunt for the Spider Queen, is, yeah, it's a masterpiece of this past year, one I'm really proud of. I think Howell really wants us to do a sequel to it as well. I'm just like, it's got to be perfect. We can't do a sequel to it until or unless we have the perfect concept. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna see, what is the next thing I want to talk about? That was in April that we did that. The next big thing in my year, every year I do a West Coast trip. And so the West Coast trip that I did this past year in May was huge. I did get to meet a ton of new people, always one of my goals. I love meeting the other ladies that do wrestling and modeling. And so let's talk about some of that real quickly. In one day, my very first day of that whole trip, I got to meet for the first time 3 new ladies, Jennifer Thomas, Nikki Fierce, and Liz Lightspeed. And Liz and I had a competitive match. Nikki and I had another concept that we've been wanting to try that's actually in the goals blog, if you look back, an early gagging bondage video where we had to keep the gags on the whole entire time and still do the match without losing the gags. And then we got all 3 ladies, Jennifer, Liz, and Nikki, and myself, together for our second 4-way all-female bondage wrestling tournament. This one was really memorable too, because it just broke all the rules that we'd had for bondage wrestlings in the past. I think Nikki got tied up first. She escaped, then she came back in. And all 3 of us had to team up against Jennifer, who's just so strong. It took all 3 of us to hold her down at all. And then finally, I admit I'm a bitch. After Liz and Nikki helped me tie up Jennifer, I turned on both of them and I ended up tying up everybody. There were betrayals, backstabbings, escapes, triple teamings. This one was a madhouse. And that was that day was neat in its own right. It was also neat because it introduced me to Nikki, and I got to work with her again in August when we were both in Florida. So that was very cool. Other highlights on that West Coast trip. It was also the first time that I got to meet Maria Queen. And that was also cool because I met Maria for the first time in May, and she just visited New York again just a couple weeks ago. So I got to reconnect with her and shoot with her twice in 2015. Where can I show Maria? Where did our match go? Here's our bondage match. Maria is the only person, I think maybe because she's done so much gi jiu-jitsu training, that tried to use the rope in the bondage wrestling for chokes. I was not expecting that because no one else has tried to do that, but it was the first thing she tried to do. And I'm like, this takes me back to gi jiu-jitsu and thinking of protect your neck from the chokes. Let's see. There we go. I'm just going back and forth with this screen sharing. So that I also, I almost never plan any time on these trips for any vacation at all. But I have to just mention that this particular trip, I did plan in some really fun vacation time as well. So I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about non-wrestling for a second. So I really enjoyed some hiking while I was out there. This is me above the city of Phoenix. Let's see. There I am. Oh, summer. I really like summer. In the Southwest, you can still count May as summer. It was very hot and very beautiful. So I enjoyed my hiking. I enjoyed also, I made a stop when I was in LA at Muscle Beach. So you can see my posing at Muscle Beach. Summer is also just, an excuse for me to wear bikinis over and over and over and take pictures. Hooray. So there's my little sequence. This particular bikini, I had a wonderful fan get me 3 designer bikinis from an Australian designer swimwear company with a name that's spelled the same way as mine. I still actually do not know how they pronounce it, but there's a VeVe or a VeVe swimwear company. So I'm modeling my VeVe or VeVe bikini at Muscle Beach, and definitely feeling very thankful to that really awesome fan that sent me those swimsuits. And let's see. I think people are sending me some comments, so I'm going to go look at those too and see what they're saying. Hello, everyone. I meant to check in on these sooner, but then I just start talking. So Happy New Year's, everybody. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the congratulations on the brown belt and the congratulations on the Spider Queen video. Both large accomplishments. And let's, I appreciate everybody who's watching. Thank you. I'm going to.
More comments.
Are there more comments? I think I'm not scrolling down far enough. What is this? Now I have. All right. I'm going to take my screen share off while I get confused over how to navigate my comments so you can all see my look of puzzlement. Okay. All right. Let me tell my one more story here about my wonderful West Coast trip, and then I'm going to move on. Where did that go? So, okay. And then here are a few more. These are other pictures of me in LA when I was doing my bikini posing. And then, oh, here are some of the ladies that I got to work with while I was there. Nikki, Jennifer, Liz. See, and here's Maria Queen. Nikki again. And then, oh no, wait, these are the wrong pictures. Sorry, everyone. Where did my really... Oh, okay, here's some more. So when I was in Vegas, I got to go to the New York section of Vegas. I enjoyed that. Here are those pictures. And this is what I want to talk about. This is like one of my favorite memories from the West Coast trip, and I swear I'm going to start talking about wrestling again soon. So I arranged the road trip to go through Death Valley. And so this is Death Valley. It was like 100 degrees. It was gorgeous. It was deserty. And then the same day I drove up into the Sierras, I was snowed in. Here's the little motel that I stayed at. The very same day that I was just there, in the same day, 100 degrees to like 20 degrees. And I had to get to San Francisco the next day for more wrestling and videos and appointments and things. And it snowed so much, they closed down several of the mountain passes. I had to drive way out of my way to find like the one mountain pass that was still open and drive through this enormous snowstorm. And when I got down to San Francisco, I was like, oh, I made it. And I was telling everybody my saga. I went from Death Valley, it was 100 degrees. I went to the mountains, it was 20 degrees. I was snowed in, they closed the roads. And everyone just said, yeah, that's what the weather's like here. Yeah, if you were in the mountains, that's what it's like. And so I thought it was exciting. I was shocked.
Maria Queen is on Twitter
now. So let's see. I'm going to go back onwards with the year. And what else happened? So we got back. We got into June. And the exciting thing about late May and June is, wait, here we go.
Maria Queen is on Twitter.
Okay. Oh, I've been informed because Diablo's monitoring comments and tweets and things for me at the same time. Maria Queen is now on Twitter. I just got notified of this, like in my left ear here, which is really exciting because I've been trying to talk to her. Like so many of us ladies talk back and forth on Twitter and tweet at each other and tweet at fans, which is fun. And Maria's only ever been on Instagram. So everyone go follow Maria Queen. She's now on Twitter. This is very exciting. Yay. Okay, so barreling along. Another big thing about 2015 was our new wrestler, Tay. This is the first video Tay ever did, which was a 2-person or a 3-person with me and with Howell. We met Tay because he's a friend of Howell's. And so Tay was just so much fun because he was like 116 pounds. Smallest guy that I've had on our roster. I was able to do, am I screen sharing right now? Oh, no, I'm not. Let me show you what I was talking about. Right, here's Tay's very first video. We got back from the West Coast, and Hal introduced us to his friend, and we did this video in June. And then I went on to just really exploit how terribly very small Tay was, and very good natured and willing to put up with a lot. So I smothered him. I threw him around. This is my only pro style match that I've included body slams because Tay was just so very easy to pick up and throw down. I think he later told me that this was his favorite one of the matches, the videos that we'd done, but it also almost made him nauseous because he said he gets a little motion sick, and I threw him all over the place. And the reason I'm talking especially a lot right now about Tay is that he just moved to Oregon. So this was a 2015 only phenomenon. We only had Tay for about 6 months, really, but filmed with him so much while he was here. He's really great, and he's just going to be a fleeting feature of 2015. Also in June, very exciting, Orlando, who has been away for about a year at school out of state, came back for the summer. So Orlando was here again only for a short time in summer 2015. And we got to do our second bondage battle of the sexes, our second 4-way. So we really, in this first half of the year, we hit those multi-way bondage wrestlings hard. And this is another one featuring Tay and Howell, and another one where Orlando and I thought, oh, this shouldn't be too hard. We're both very good wrestlers. Howell and Tay are both novice wrestlers, though Howell has done enough bondage wrestling matches that he learned a little bit through osmosis. But we discovered it was just super difficult. So I've decided that possibly just the most difficult form of bondage wrestling ever is 2-on-2 teams, because the other team, if they can roll themselves anywhere close to you, can just interfere just enough that it's miserably hard. I'm almost convinced this is harder than 2-on-1 bondage wrestling. Although you'll notice that, again, Orlando and I did pull it off. After just way more trouble than we expected, we did pull that one off, so that was cool. And then another big feature of the summer, we flew Mistress Cara into New York. She doesn't visit New York nearly as much as we hoped or wished she would. So we took it upon ourselves. Say, Cara, please come. We'll bring you over. And while Cara was here, she just beat up on the boys quite a bit. She beat up on Hans. She beat up on Howell. And then also, not to be left out, she beat up on me as well. Terrible. So Cara does a fantastic job being the bad girl, or being the dominant, being the heel. And as much as I loved having her here, yeah, it involved taking a fall. That was rough. So stop. That was getting us through like half the year, and then the next big thing that happened was travel again, and that was to go to Fetcon. And this, I think, was my third Fetcon. It's really cool because it involves so many models and wrestlers getting together. And, oh, excuse me, that's the cold happening. I'm sniffing again. And so again, I got to meet some awesome new people, film some multi-person things, very cool. And I'm trying to bring up a couple things to show from that. Let's see if I have it. Sorry, everybody. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's my Fetcon pictures. I got to meet for the first time. So I can go back to this.
Big training today.
Let's see. Okay. I got to meet Layla Moore for the first time at Fetcon. So you can see here, Layla and I did a number of matches together. Diablo was there as well to film. This is a picture that I just love because Layla and I, oh, there we go. We're cute again there. Layla and I shot for her store. So this is, I think, the one not working the camera picture that Diablo ever got at a shoot because Layla's camera guy was filming this. So this is a cute one. Behind the scenes, wrestling at the Fetcon Hotel. And then Nikki, again, like I mentioned, I met her in California to start with, and then met Bella Inc. for the first time and did, oh God, maybe about the one of the most brutal 2-on-1 bondage wrestling matches ever. I thought I'd never met Bella before. I knew Nikki was a strong wrestler, but I knew Bella was just extremely tiny. So I thought I could move her around real easily and I'd be able to handle this 2-on-1 match. Oh my God, not at all. Nikki, with Bella's help, double teaming, Nikki just got me into a head scissor that lasted for about 30 minutes, and Bella just proceeded to tie me up the rest of the time. Oh, and then here's me. Summer, Fetcon, modeling, anything, just excuses to wear bikinis all over the place. So this is how I walked around Fetcon most of the time. Unless I was at the pool. There I am at the Fetcon pool. More excuses to wear bikinis, of course. And then to go out, this I think was Miami Beach. After Fetcon, I went and did a little bit more road tripping. More excuses to wear bikinis. Yes, Miami Beach, that's where that is. And then this is Jacksonville Beach, headed back up after Fetcon, headed back north. I've been having a little bit too much sun for most of this trip, so I'm more covered up in this picture now than in previous. And got back to New York, enjoyed the rest of the summer. These are actually a couple pictures I threw in of the Long Island beaches. God, I miss summer. Are you getting that? It's my favorite part of the year. Let's see. Okay. And then let me do a little bit more. I'm going to check comments again just to see what's going on. Yes. Oh, everybody enjoyed the Kara stuff. She's definitely something. It'd be great if she could come back yet again, but it's tough to get that travel happening. And yes, me on the beach. Oh, so good, so good. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up the year. I'm all the way to the fall now.
20 minutes.
And let's see what happened next. Oh, I have to go back real quickly because I do want to talk about all of the new ladies that I met this year. I did quite forget to mention that we filmed with Samantha Grace. She was a lot of fun to mention. She was in June when much was going on. So Samantha was a fun person to meet too. She was very flexible. Oh my goodness. She took a very brutal tying. Yes, she did. And then we also did, she and I did this fun spandex match. So maybe my most colorful wrestling video ever. Samantha was really fun to meet. Then in, let's see. Oh, I don't think I even showed, I didn't show those pictures. Screen share. I didn't show those pictures. These are my pictures of Samantha. And this was my picture. You can see this little one. how ridiculously tight she manages to endure being bound. Excuse me. And then at our fun, really bright, exciting spandex match. And then we moved into September, and we had some visits from some really lovely London ladies. And this was the first time that I got to meet Scorpion. Um, where are these? Oh, here we go. Again, obviously following our goal to have costumed matches. This was an exciting time because I actually made my own costume for this match. I was pretty proud of it. It's a bit simple, but I think that my costume, my villainous costume, looks fabulous. And Scorpion was a great opponent here. She's a great performer, and she gave me so many reasons to punish her that she got a little bit of everything. She got tied up, then she got scissored, then she got face out, then she got gagged, then she got tickled, but the thing is that she really, unlike so many ladies that just are more sweet and cooperative, Scorpion really brought it on herself. I mean, she bit my ass, I admit. And yeah, she deserved everything she got. And she was just, here's another one that she and I did, Python Battle. Scorpion was a delight because she was just on it. You could give her a script, a scenario. She was just very creative, very, very confident with everything. So besides being strong, holding her own in wrestling, she was a great performer. She really did a great show and was a pleasure to work with so much. Let's see. And then, so recently, right after that, Anastasia also visited, and she was similar, just such a fabulous performer. Strong and great legs, but beyond that, so much personality. I had her do a pro style after she told me that she had done an acro yoga lucha libre show performance, that she had just, she'd done that was a thing. And I'm like, okay, you'll be great at pro style. Then she says, oh, but I've never done a pro style wrestling video before. Anastasia was very, very new to doing wrestling videos, so she'd done a lot of other things like domination, like yoga and performance and instruction, but the videos were new to her. And she said, I've never done this before. And I said, you'll be great, because you told me all these other things that you've done not on video. And lo and behold, so I threw her in there, said, you can do it. And she just tortured the hell out of me. I tortured her back and forth some too. Like this one was a fun, goes both ways video, but oh man, she made some of those things hurt. But when she's not beating you up, so sweet, super sweet. And then around this same time, and then yeah, she can put the hurt on the guys too. There's Anastasia, just I said she had great legs. She puts them to use, and she's just very, very dominant, fun, and snarky. So great to meet her, and great to meet Scorpion. They were really fun. Also filmed with Nadia White, another fun person who I got to meet for the first time. And here we had some pretty cool secret agent outfits. Those a fan provided for another video, but I'm like, once I have those outfits, I'm going to use them over and over again. I have no doubt. Okay, so let's see. I went on a quick trip in November to Texas and Santa Fe. That had been sort of a goal for me because I had never. No, I take that back. I had visited Texas once before for wrestling, but I'd only gone to Austin for like a day because a particular fan had requested me to go there. I'd never done any sort of tour really properly in the South and Southwest. So I got to try for the first time going to Texas for wrestling, and I'm going to Santa Fe as well. And while I was gone, Diablo got to shoot with Layla Moore for the second time after we had met her at Fetcon. So that was fun. Or so I heard. I got to hear about that secondhand.
And Hans.
Let's see. Oh, and Hans was in on that shoot too. I think that was a marathon. I heard that they really went like all day with that. Okay, let's see. And then we had we had two more shoots with new people. We had so many shoots with recurring favorites that we love, but I wanted to just talk about the new people I met to keep me from talking absolutely all day about this recap. We shot with Sarah Brooke, and Sarah is fun. She's quite feisty. I think she's a bit of a newer wrestler. She's coming on through the catfight scene. So she had that like boundless energy of somebody who's getting started, who's doing a lot of things for the first time, and is very excited and is very game to try it all. And she was the first person who, instead of, I always seek people out to try bondage wrestling because I'm always looking for new opponents. But she actually said, if I'm shooting with you, the one thing I would really love to do is bondage wrestling, which is great because a lot of ladies are a bit scared of it. I coaxed them into it a little, but Sarah came right up and said, oh no, that's a major goal. I heard you do this and I really like the look of it and I want to try that. So Sarah takes the prize for my very most eager bondage wrestling opponent ever, which was really cool. And I got to feel really, really proud and just think, wow, word's gotten out. Somebody has heard about this and come and said, I want to do that. I've heard VeVe does that. So yeah, that made me feel really good. Oh goodness, I'm not sharing the screen here. So here's my bondage wrestling match with Sarah Brooke, where she just flattered me shamelessly by saying like, I want to do this. And she was another person who could really be tied up tightly, much like Samantha, just champion at oh my god, taking a brutal mean tie. And I cannot show yet because we haven't even released any pictures of it yet. We managed to fit in one more shoot, meeting a new person in December 30th to really wrap up the year, and met with Enchantress Sarai, which had been a big goal of mine because Carrie had recommended when we shot with her in September, she'd said, oh, I know this new lady. I really recommend you work with her. So we spent about 3 months trying to get the correct day worked out, and Sarai and I managed to get it in right at the end of the year. She's very feisty. Oh my goodness. I unfortunately don't have any pictures to show of that yet, but our stuff with Sarai will be coming up soon, probably this month. And there's a couple other things I'm gonna reminisce over. What's a little bit sad, I'm going to show some of the Sarah Brooke pictures again because that was our last shoot. Here's where Sarah and Rachel fought. That was our last shoot in the big studio, Spectrum. That space is not around anymore. It's tough in New York right now. They're turning a lot of cool places like that into like condos and this and that. So the building got bought. It's being totally remodeled. It's not going to be a club or a studio or an art space anymore. It's probably going to be luxury condos. So that's really sad. We lost Spectrum, where we shot so many cool things, such as, here's another one that Scorpio and I did. This was a neat place. We got to do some really large scale stuff there. And it worked out, like for the Spider Queen, for example. It looked really spooky sometimes, or it could look really sporty when we put out all of our mats. Oh, here's my pro style with Rachel there. But we're not going to shoot there anymore. We're shooting only temporarily right now for the duration of 2016 so far at the apartment studio. So let me just show that. But what is a little bit cool about that is that we did move all of those extra mats that we had at the big studio at Spectrum into the apartment studio. So let me just show this. Our apartment studio just got a lot nicer because the mats got bigger. Let me show this. This was a big change here, right at the end of the year. We moved in the extra mats, but there are still 3 more rolls of mats in the prop closet right now. We don't have quite the same space here. We have extra mats in storage, and probably a 2016 task might be a hunt for another big studio. But let's, okay, almost last thing I'm going to talk about. What is cool is that coming over to the apartment studio, actually in just a few minutes, is a training group that we started having when we were using Spectrum. Because Spectrum was not just like an art studio, it was a community space, and we kept using it for video shoots and saying, this is like a public space, it's a community resource, and we should be offering some wrestling back to the community that lets us use the space that as we do for video shoots. So we started offering little wrestling drop-in workshops, and those have now moved to the apartment studio. And this is definitely like a 2015 story because we started doing that in February, early on in the beginning of 2015, hosting these little workshops. And it's wild that at about the time that the big studio went away, the training things got much bigger. So the big training sessions now have moved into the small apartment space. But I'm looking at a clock off camera right now. In 6 minutes, people are going to start dropping in for this training session, and I'm going to have to wrap up and stop talking.
Even Rachel.
And so, yeah, another reason that we started doing the training sessions was thinking, oh, maybe some of the video wrestlers will come and practice some more. And mostly we didn't end up having video wrestlers come, but had, so a lot of people from around other events that would happen at the Spectrum studio, from parties, from art shows, from this and that. But I think possibly today, Rachel has said she's going to start coming to the training session. So we're excited to see if Rachel will come. She's suddenly been getting lots of competitive matches. She had her one with Sarah Brooke. She had her one with Sarai. And people have had a really bad habit of putting Rachel in like mismatch matches. She fights so hard. But I think, fans can be mean sometimes. Rachel looks good losing, so they've put her in some really uneven matches. And I think Rachel would like to win now. So I think she said she would come to the training today. We'll see. That would be fun. The very last thing I'm going to say about 2015, harkening back to how bad I was at the resolution about my blog. It has been a year where we've started doing a lot more, even more Twitter than ever before, and started the webcast, which started like last month, and which this is sort of related. This vlog is sort of related to the webcast. 2015 has been a year where we've definitely moved away from the blog. I admit I can't do it. Into like Twitter and sometimes my Tumblr, which I remember to update, and into the webcast. So the webcast is a new thing for 2015, and there are lots and lots of social media ways to keep up with me. I'm hoping that I'll keep vlogging more since I can't blog, but I'm not going to promise this time because I know how bad I am about it. The webcast is going to keep me honest because I'm scheduling it with Hans and Diablo and everybody. Oh, everybody's making comments. And you're all sending Rachel such good wishes. I'm going to have to tell her that she's got a fan club rooting for her. I think that will really, really motivate her. And yes, Rachel is going to power up. That would turn some heads, I think. Rachel should get some revenge. I think so. Currently, after I got so crushed by Nikki Fierce and Bella Inc. in the 2-on-1 bondage in Fetcon, I got inspired. I have to win one, so I put Rachel and Shasha together as a team because I was able to win that one. Rachel has to redeem herself. She has to start being somebody who's gonna rack up trophies of her own. Maybe she's making a resolution this year. Okay, so I have talked a lot. Oh, thanks everybody who's dropped in. What are a few more of the comments? Yes, the biting. That was true. Scorpion did indeed bite me. Sarai is very cute. I'll have to have pictures of her for next time. And yes, it is very sad that the big studio has gone away. It's really annoying. I'm on the lookout for a new place. That's a thing. Sometimes I love being in New York, but I think if I were anywhere else, studio space would be 100 times easier. Okay, so all right, guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks for tuning in, listening to me ramble. It was a really fun year, and I'm anticipating it being a really fun year coming up. Definitely have a ton of things in the works. Indra is coming over to do some very exciting domination with a new victim that I found next weekend. Right after that, Rapture is visiting. At the very end of the month, Sahara Huxley is visiting. I've never gotten to work with Sahara before, but I've seen her around across the room when we've both been at Fetcon at the same time. But she's quite a giantess type, and I expect I'm going to get probably picked up and thrown about. And then February 6th, Bella Inc. is back. So this is going to be, like a light speed, very fully packed 2016. I'll be reporting on that in a year's time. All right. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.